Good morning, Arizona may be wrapping up, but we still have more local news for you right now. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being with us. I'm Tess Raffles. You are watching Arizona's Family Plus. Major damage to a Goodyear home after an explosion and first alarm fire. A neighbor capturing that blast on her home security camera. Tori Roca says she and her husband and several others heard the explosion and ran to help the homeowners. A man and woman are now in critical condition. Crews were able to at least control the fire before flames could spread to other nearby homes. Officials with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms are on scene. We've been told so far the cause does not appear to be suspicious. The pilot of a small plane was killed, sadly, in a crash at Lake Havasu City Airport. Police there tell us the pilot was the only person on board the single-engine Cessna 177. It crashed Sunday afternoon just after takeoff. Fire crews say the plane was engulfed in flames by the time crews arrived. The FAA and NTSB are now investigating. One of 3 toddlers pulled from a backyard pool in Buckeye is headed home from the hospital. An unbelievable story here as a 1, 2, and 3-year-old. 3 kids all fell into the pool Saturday near Miller and Lower Buckeye Roads. Police say a man was inside the house at the time and there was no fence around the pool. The 1-year-old, again, good enough to be released to go back home, but the 2- and 3-year-olds are in critical condition. Police are trying to figure out what happened here. Well, the Delta variant of COVID-19 is still spreading quickly across the country, particularly in the southern states, and especially among those who are unvaccinated. In Arizona, 4 million people have had at least 1 dose of the vaccine, and half of the population is now fully vaccinated. Those low numbers are being blamed for the recent spike in cases. So to help us get a better idea of where we stand right now, the state of our hospitals, we have Dr. Frank Lavecchio of Valleywise Medical Center. Dr. Lavecchio, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Tess.
Let's talk about how are you guys doing at Valleywise? How is the hospital doing? How are the nurses, the doctors doing?
I work at a few hospitals downtown Phoenix, and I think morale is a little low. We were high when we got the vaccine, and we were pretty excited about that. But right now, we're seeing many people come in that are unvaccinated, unfortunately. Most of the people that come in tend to be younger. So for the first time in the pandemic, we're seeing the average age of those admitted to be under age 50. So last week it was 49. Our ICU beds are full again, mainly because of a nursing shortage.
And you speak of the nursing shortage. We're also seeing more people in the hospitals in that lower age group, which we weren't expecting to see, especially at the beginning of the pandemic. What is the true shortage because of? We've heard so many different things, right? Nurses retiring, nurses and doctors leaving the business. What are we seeing?
Well, I think that is true. And I think some of my colleagues, doctor friends, et cetera, have stepped down and done less. But I think the main driving issue is the nursing shortage. This pandemic has taught us that nurses are so important. Nurses assistants, techs are so important to this, because if I'm asked to see 20 patients, I got to see 22, that's fine. But if a nurse is asked to take care of 2 patients and then 4 now in the ICU, that's not happening. Somebody's going to die, somebody's going to get hurt. And what's happening now is this big competition. There's states, neighboring states, that'll offer you $25,000 for 1 month to go there for 1 month, work 3 shifts, right? 3 shifts, you could fly home and then make $5,000 per month, $5,000 per week. So you think about that, that's almost $50,000 for 1 month's work. You know, how could we hang on to our nurses that way? And there's competition even amongst hospitals in Greater Maricopa County.
I know recently our governor created a plan, a program where hospitals would get that extra money to be able to pay nurses more. Is that playing a role? Will that be able to help the situation at all?
I hope so. I think the nurses are frustrated, as many of us are. And, you know, if they're going to put themselves at risk, which very few want to anymore, I think they deserve to be compensated and paid. I mean, remember, they're going into rooms where people are dying of it. You know, there's super high viral levels. And now with the news of the vaccine kind of maybe losing some of its potency 8 or 9 months out, you know, we're all looking for boosters and we're pretty excited about getting boosters.
I can't even imagine what you guys have been going through the past year and a half. So thank you from all of us to all of you for
Thank
what
you.
you guys do to help and protect the folks that live here and to help save lives. Before we go, can you talk a little bit about the vaccine? Where do we stand in terms of a booster? A lot of people are wondering, do we really need it? When are we even going to get it?
Okay. We know that if you are vaccinated and have some degree of immunosuppression, that your antibodies drop a little bit. Now, we know that's not for everyone. We also know that after 8 or 9 months or so, some antibodies drop, but there's so much more to fighting this than just antibodies. There's these T cells that come out that we can't really measure that well, except for research studies. So the short answer is, I personally am going to get the booster just to be safe. Is it for everybody? Probably not. But we hope within the next month or two that people that were vaccinated in the beginning of the pandemic in January or so are allowed to get a booster. We know that Moderna is making a booster shot that's going to be half of the original dose and the flu vaccine combined. And, maybe that'll be something that'll influence people to kind of get vaccinated.
Sure. The best thing to do, of course, is talk to your own doctor if you've got health concerns, as you guys have always said. Dr. LoVecchio, thank you again. We appreciate your time. Until next time, we'll see you soon. You guys take care.
Thank you, Tess. Have a good day.
You too. Dr. LoVecchio with Valleywise Medical Center. In other news this morning, Paradise Valley getting its first fully private physician-owned surgery center. And we got a tour of the Paradise Valley Multi-Specialty Surgery Center at Scottsdale Road and Lincoln Drive, as you can see. 4 physicians teamed up to build the 15,000 square foot facility with cutting edge technology. There's, even if you see it, sort of a luxurious atmosphere here. Up to 60 procedures can be performed there each day in specialties like plastic surgery, orthopedic surgery, spine, ear, nose, and throat and urology specialists. Well, with workers back in the office and kids returning to the classroom, AARP says 12% of American adults are on the brink of burnout. They're known as the sandwich generation. So workers, we're talking about full-time workers caring for their aging loved ones while supporting their own children and family. We spoke with one Valley woman in the sandwich generation, as it's called, Yvette Areola. She is raising 3 of her grandchildren and lives with her elderly mother, all of them keeping her hands, as you can imagine, full. She says while she has the support of her husband and children, it's still really hard. Yvette also cared for her father before he passed away.
He asked me to take care of my mother the way I took care of him. And so it wasn't even, I didn't even give it a second thought, because they're such good parents, and whether or not, if they were or they weren't, I was going to do it anyway.
If you fall into this category, Scottsdale-based Synergy Home Care says warning signs to recognize when you need help include constantly feeling under pressure, having a short fuse, being unable to focus, and having trouble sleeping. Get help. There is help out there. Well, it's an exciting start to the school year for some Grand Canyon University students. The school just gave, ready, 100 students free college educations. This is all through the Students Inspiring Students program. The university is hoping to make dreams come true for the students who live near the campus. So to qualify for the scholarship, students have to spend 100 hours in the learning lounges on campus during their high school years. The idea is to give students from the Grand Canyon community an opportunity to get a degree that, well, otherwise may have been out of reach.
It really helped me that I wanted to graduate. I wanted to graduate from a university, and I got the things I needed to do. It really benefited my life a lot.
Those who get the scholarships then become tutors as well, giving back. Well, we know making dinner, maybe you're thinking about it right now. What are we going to make for dinner? It can sometimes be a chore, we know, but not for one Valley man who volunteers once a month to make dinner for nearly 100 people. You bet that's something good. AZ Family viewer Sharon Hain wrote in to tell us about this generous soul. Every third Tuesday of the month, Paul Stutter, you see right there in the middle, comes to the New Leaf's East Valley Men's Center to cook a meal for the people they service. The Men's Center is a safe haven for men facing homelessness. Paul not only cooks nearly 100 dinners, but he pays for all the food out of his own pocket. He does the grocery shopping, brings it all to the center, and then creates the meals. He's been doing this for 2 decades. He began this as a parishioner at St. Bridget's Catholic Church in Mesa. So we want to give a big shout out to Paul and his big heart. But we also want to give you a shout out to Sharon and the other volunteers who help serve the food, those ladies right there. Together, they are able to give nearly 100 men a hot meal they otherwise wouldn't have. Sharon, in fact, wrote, "I can't even imagine how much money he's invested in this, along with the time commitment. Paul is a very humble man." And by the way, the guys apparently like his chili dogs, salads, pickles, and ice cream. And when it's near the holidays, he often makes turkey or ham with all the trimmings. So thank you, Paul, and to all the volunteers. We love hearing great stories like this. If you know about something good happening in our community, maybe someone or a business spreading kindness, post about them on our AZ Family Facebook page or email me directly at traffles@azfamily.com, and we may just feature them right here on Arizona's Family. Thank you so much for watching. For the latest news, traffic, and weather, you can always go to azfamily.com or be sure to download our AZ Family News app. Have a great day, everybody.